If your hair air dries like this, I get it. Most people do not have the type of hair that air dries looking all smooth and silky. And if you do, you'll probably notice that although you may not look like a puffball like me, your hair probably air dries pretty flat. In my 17 years of experience in this industry, I've come to realize that there is a remarkably tiny percentage of people who can air dry their hair and have it actually look good. So naturally, what do? We turn to heat styling, but heat styling isn't all it's cracked out to be either, because although the hair looks good in the moment, it can lead to a lot of damage over time. When it's damaged, it looks bad. So what do? We use more heat to make the damage look better, which then results in more damage, and it goes on and on and on. Today, I'm gonna teach you the right way to flat iron your hair so that it lasts not only for several days, but also doesn't get damaged along the way. Let's go. Tip number 1 is to prep your hair for heat styling with some kind of heat protector. There are several different types of heat protectors on the market that are all formulated differently. There are some that are sprays, some that are creams, and different people tend to gravitate towards different ones. In the wet stage, I really like to use a cream-based heat protector because depending on the one you choose, it can act as like dual products. Today, I partnered with Skin Research Institute, and I'm so excited to show you a few of their products in this video. I've been talking about this brand for like a year on this channel, and I really love them. They have some super cool stuff. My very first step in getting my hair smooth is to use the Shine Shield Heat Protection Cream from that brand in the wet stage before I blow dry. This heat protector in particular is great because it has fatty acids, antioxidants, and even sunflower seed oil. So it really helps to reduce frizz, smooth split ends, and lock in moisture without being too heavy, which is key. Using a product like this one that acts as a styling agent and heat protector in one will save you from having to cocktail too many products together. It's easier and it's more cost effective. Plus, you don't risk weighing the hair down with too much stuff. After applying your heat protector, you want to brush it through from roots to ends to evenly distribute it. Tip number 2 is to blow your hair out first. If you want to wear your hair straight, every time you wash it, blow it out first. Blowing your hair out from the wet stage is beneficial for so many reasons. Hair is very easily manipulated when it's wet. It just listens a lot better. If you can do the majority of the smoothing in the blow drying stage, you'll be able to use significantly less heat with your flat iron. You'll be able to do less passes, and your smoothness is gonna last a lot longer, like several more days than if you air dry and then straighten. Trust me, the end result will look so much better and it will be way less damaging over time. It's a win on all levels. If you don't like using a round brush or you find it too challenging, a lot of people struggle with that, you can use a vent brush instead. A vent brush isn't always the best option for curly or wavy hair like mine because it doesn't give a lot of tension and control. But if you're gonna use a flat iron anyways, it will still be fine to do it that way. It will straighten the hair out enough to minimize your flat ironing time and the heat you need from it significantly. If you're interested in learning more about brushes, what they do, which one is best for what kind of hair, I made a whole video about that, and you can find a link to it in the pinned comment below. So go check that one out after you watch this one. Speaking of blow drying, if you guys need a new blow dryer, the one I am using is the SRI Dry Q. This blow dryer is so awesome. I've mentioned it a bunch of times on here. It's actually one of the lightest blow dryers on the market, weighing in at 11.8 ounces, but the size does not sacrifice the power. It's super powerful. It dries the hair extremely quickly while also saving your shoulders and your back from all the weight. It's an awesome blow dryer. It is one of my favorite blow dryers on the market right now. Look at this sexy little thing. So if you need a new blow dryer, highly recommend this one. Tip number 3 is to get a great high quality flat iron. Surprise, not all flat irons are the same. Nope, they are not. It is very important to get a really good quality flat iron. When significant heat damage is done on your hair, it's done in like 1 second and it's irreversible. Just throw your metal plated irons from Amazon away. It's not worth keeping them because the damage happens so quickly. It's 1 second. You go like this and it's like, boom, your hair's fried. And that's it. I've seen people singe their hair in the salon before. It literally looks singed and there's nothing you can do about it except for cut it off. So if you have a flat iron that isn't very good quality, get rid of it. It's like literally not worth having. It's not worth risking your hair's health over an inexpensive flat iron that you want to save a couple bucks on. Just toss it, just toss it. What you do want to look for when you're buying an iron are a few things. You want plates that don't pull or snag the hair. You want good quality plates like titanium or ceramic. Those are really great plates. And you definitely want even heat distribution. It's essential that your flat iron doesn't have hot spots on the plates. The plates should be equally hot from the top to the bottom. Again, this brand that makes this awesome blow dryer also makes an amazing flat iron. It's called the Infrarose styler and it's so good. It is a titanium plated styler, so it's very effective for smoothing out even the most coarse or curly hair. It has digital heat control so you can move up or down as you wish in temperature. It has floating plates so it glides through the hair like butter, and the heat distribution is very even. I really recommend this iron. It heats up super quickly, it does a great job of smoothing, and the design is awesome because it has these curved plates. So if you're someone who waves or curls your hair with your flat iron, you can do so easily with this one. And look at how amazingly shiny and glossy it made my hair look. That's not just because of my hair. That's absolutely because of the hot tool and the quality of the plates. Speaking of flat irons, let's go through some flat ironing tips now, okay? Tip number 4 is to set your flat iron at a reasonable temperature for you. Back in the day, before I was a stylist, I used to just set it at the highest temperature period. Why? Because I really thought that more was better. I just thought it was. The hotter, the better. And it's not. It is absolutely not. The hotter is not the better. And hotter is not better, it's not. Everyone's hair type is so different, and so is the temperature required to straighten it. If you have thin hair, fine hair, you need to set the flat iron to a lower temperature. On the other hand, if you have thick curly hair, you need to set it at a higher temperature. You need to set the temperature where you're gonna get the result you want and no higher. You want to start with one section at a low temperature like 200 or 250 and see if you get the result you want. If you don't, go up to 300. If it's not good enough, go up to 350. When your hair straightens smoothly, stop at that temperature. Seriously, take a minute to do that and find where that sweet spot is for your hair. For me, after I blow dry it smooth with a brush, I don't have to go any hotter than 300 to 350. And my hair has quite a bit of texture. So it shows you, like, I don't know if anyone really needs that 450 heat. Maybe if you don't blow dry at first and you have very coarse textured hair, you'll need 450, but it's rare. And I think most people flat iron at 450 when like maybe 5% of people actually need that heat. Seriously guys, if you go any hotter than the sweet spot that your hair needs to get smooth, you just pave your path towards heat damage without getting any more smoothing gain from it. You're just doing damage without like receiving anything in return. You know, it doesn't make sense. So take the time to learn your hair. Take the time to experiment with your iron. It will make a huge difference over time. I guarantee it. And that brings me to tip number 5. I feel like I've been lecturing you for 10 minutes, but tip number 5 is to chill out on the passes. Repeatedly going over the same section of hair with a flat iron is just like setting your flat iron to a temperature that's too hot. It would only cause more damage without any additional gain. So make sure you're only running the flat iron through each section of hair once or twice max. In order to get the best results without doing too many passes, you need to section your hair. Each section should fit comfortably in the flat iron without spilling over. You want to brush the strands from roots to ends first so that all the hair is lined up. Start about ½ inch from the root and with a smooth and controlled motion, slide down the hair. Here's a little bonus tip. If your hair doesn't have too much frizz or movement at the root, you don't have too much curl at the root, and you want to maintain volume volume there, start lower on the mid shaft of the hair and use less heat. This will still straighten the hair out without kind of collapsing or sandwiching the volume at the root and throughout the rest of the hair too. Here's another bonus tip. If you find that you get a lot of breakage at the front of your hair because it's extra fine or just gets heat styled more, you know, since it's in the front, it's the place that you always heat style. When you get 3/4 of the way through your hair, so when you're like over here, turn your flat iron off so it has a chance to cool down. By the time you get to that section at the front, you're gonna be using a lot less heat in like that fragile area. You know, you're using less heat in the area where it can't handle as much heat. So just turn it off, let it cool down, and finish off those like weaker sections. If you guys wanna check out the Skin Research Institute products that are Glam Girl approved, I will leave a link to everything in the description box below. This video's over.